Well, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Brotherhood podcast, where transparency meets vulnerability. Today, you already heard him, Skeeton. Today, I'm joined with one of my really good friends. We actually met each other about 4 years ago, and he is a creative. He is a choreographer. He is a motivational speaker without even realizing it. And I am just thrilled to have him on our podcast today. So welcome.
Thank you, homie.
Jeffrey Louizia. How
Hey.
you doing? Boom crew,
Jeffrey,
baby.
Boom Louizia. I added the middle name there, okay?
Come
so
on,
it was
man.
Jeffrey Boom Louizia.
Boom Louizia.
I didn't go to the state house to change anything.
Yeah.
But no, that's my name.
Dude.
People think it's my real name for sure.
Yeah, well, but for the people that are watching or listening, can you tell them just a little bit about yourself, who you are, kind of where you came from, all the different things, what you're doing currently, maybe?
That's like, honestly, like, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Because usually when people are like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I usually just go chilling.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm just, but then the reality in my day, I'm doing so much.
Yeah.
I'm like behind the scenes for sure.
Come on. Mm-hmm.
Diving in so anyway, I started creating this list of things, and so the list happens to be so it starts with me being a director at Millennium Dance Complex here. About 7 years or so here now. I've been directing it under my guidance.
Awesome.
32 artists among my under my belt. I also bought on for the first time a new direction, which is Quinnell Bash as well.
Yes.
He came on. He's also
awesome.
helping me on that because my brain is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I
absolutely.
needed that to be wielded. I also I'm working on I jumped on the Kajabi online scene, not because of a knee buckle, COVID reason. It's only because I actually can reach out to more people. For sure. I could, because when I was little, my goal was to always like inspire the world, see the world.
Yep, absolutely.
Literally.
Yep.
And so this is like another pocket element. Way that I could do that is through Kajabi. Yeah. And so it's cool. It's just cool. First time online dance.
That's awesome.
Boom.
Yeah. I want to stop you right there because a lot of people that know you really find you. It's like you have this way about you that is so inviting and so loving, and it's almost like you can meet one person for the very first time and they feel like they know Jeffrey Louizia from the inside and out.
It's too late. No.
But I think that's a really good testament. And I just want to compliment you because even when we first met, we are both pretty loud. We're both pretty loud brothers in Salt Lake City, Utah, and we're both in the dance scene and whatnot. But we actually met. Let's kind of tell the story about how we actually met. We actually met through Junction. Yes. Shout out to Megan Adelsberg for just being inspired and doing what she does so well. But we actually met on Junction, and I think that there's those people that in your life that you feel like, okay, once you know them, once you get to introduced to them, it's like you automatically just click as if we're just family. I really do sense that we have a deep brotherhood that runs, even though we may not see each other as much. I'm no longer on Junction in this season. You're pretty much retired. All you do is teach.
We're getting old.
But for real, I think that even though we don't necessarily see each other, when we see each other, it's like, man, this connectivity, and even with Jess and all of it, it's like we just connect very well together, and it's like we're gonna do life together in some capacity, in some form.
We vibrate
together. Yes, absolutely. So today, actually, while I have you on, I really want to talk about this idea about breaking the mold of creativity, because I oftentimes think that just a lot of men in general, I do feel like that creativity is only associated to dance, graphic design, arts, all these different things. So I really want to, we'll dive into that a little bit later, but I want to break the mold to say it's not just about dance. It's not just about that. Literally God has called you to be creative. Absolutely. You have created creativity literally living breathing in you. And so let's just I have a couple questions for you. So as a creative here in Salt Lake, and you do choreography and you done a lot of things.
Yep, yep.
What really, I guess, motivates you to keep going? Because this is the thing that I really want to get across today, is that creativity is always in you, but you have to like exercise it. You have to really release it. So what are some things that really motivate you to keep doing what you're doing, to be innovative, and when it comes to choreography or whatever?
You know, to be quite honest, like motivation is gonna sound weird because the way that I'm gonna say it is it's like but anyway, those that motivate me is my mom, my parents, the way that they upbring me, the way they brought me up, right? It motivates me to be a better parent, right? My crew members in my crew, they motivate me to continue to push them, but then they push me at the same time, right? So that right there, I'm motivated by my associate that I lived under their basement, same age as me, right? Wow. And they have like 3 kids, big house, big yard. I'm motivated by that to give me a better life. I'm motivated. You see how I'm talking in that manner?
Absolutely. Yep.
And so I'm motivated by, I guess, excuse me, sorry about that. I'm motivated by my breath, I guess, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Me getting up every morning, every day, like having like having breathing. I had another chance. Absolutely. Basically, that motivates me to complete whatever the task is. So that's how.
So what you're saying is that you find motivation not only in this moment of like, oh, I got to get into the dance studio, but you find it through walking life.
Yes, for sure.
Like you find it through, my neighbor that's right next to me. Wow, they really inspired me. Oh, my kids that I teach dance. Oh, wow, they're pushing me to be better. Or my daughter, I want to strive better for them, or I want to be a better husband, father. Like, so really you are saying that in order for you to really break the mold of creativity, you don't not only find it in the mirror.
No. It's more than dance, more than dance,
more choreography, or you doing this thing. It is looking outside yourself. It is allowing and seeing, okay, wow, I actually have breath in my lungs to even create.
Yes, right?
It's that thing. Right? It's like, and so what am I going to do with what I have today? So what motivates you is those external things.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's go a little bit deeper. Let's talk about right now the difference between inspiration and motivation. Because this is, I think even for me, a lot of people, it's easy for them to get inspiration or to say, I'm motivated. But motivation, if we're being honest with it, you don't wake up every day motivated. Nobody does. We don't wake up every day motivated. We don't wake up every day ready to take on the world. There are those days where it's like, man, I do want to take on the world. I want to do this thing. But let's talk about the difference between inspiration and motivation, because I do believe and I'll talk about it a little bit on my side before you answer the question. But I do believe that inspiration comes from what you filter in.
Inspiration is what you filter.
Filter in. So what I mean by that, it's from the books that I read. It's from the podcast. It's from how I treat my wife. It's from how I engage in my family. What am I putting in? It's about me, how I listen to a message and it transforms the way that I live. I am now inspired to be motivated to do something else.
Let's go.
And so for you, like, what is the difference for you between inspiration and motivation in your life? So what are the things that actually really motivate you?
So
and inspire you, I guess.
So it's
really the word. It's not motivate, inspire.
It's inspire now because like I said, that's the list of that is what motivates. But this is okay. I'm going to tell you. This might be a little off, but when I teach the base of putting yourself in the box of a dancer or an artist, right? So anytime I'm teaching, I've now practiced my artistry, being an artist. Why? Because it limits you. In my head, I'm only speaking personally, right? Dancer goes box, it goes dancer, crank, 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 boom. There's so much, there's so far. You can be motivated to be that dancer. You can be motivated by someone else working so hard to motivate you to do that. But like you said, motivation just goes like this. There's limits to it. There's like time to it. It comes and goes.
Yes.
This is where I think inspiration now taps into the artistry like a battery. Yeah. It's a battery charge for what you are doing passionately. Right. So it's a charge for that now. Inspiration becomes for that passion. Right. It's like so inspiration is like a battery charge for what you are doing passionately. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that inspiration is, to me now, this is when I tap into people when I'm like, okay, what do you want to be? Do you want to be the dancer or do you want to be the artist? And so someone will be like, I train my artist to be a dancer. I was like, all right, good, great. Now let's take you up a notch or 300 notches. And know that artists can be inspired by the black shirt that you're wearing, by the trees that are blowing in the wind, by the ants. An artist can be inspired by these things, you know? So inspiration is, to me, limitless.
Wow.
You know, I don't know. Motivation is limited.
Yeah.
So
that's really good. So when you talk about like inspiration, and I think that we're talking about this Brotherhood podcast is really to really honestly inspire men to be vulnerable. And to be transparent and to really think about these different things, like, you know, because I think in our society with men, it's like we almost have this big testosterone kind of like, let's go, Spartan, like let's charge, and let's do all these different things. But on the inside, it's like, that only lasts for so long. Like you can fake it all day long, but when you lay your head down on your pillow at night, you're left with this sense of like, okay, was that motivation? Was that my true self? Was that my false self? Or was that inspiration? So in all of that, I think that what I believe that creativity is at its core is really what you're saying is inspiration. It is looking and being an artist and seeing outside the box of the normality that you have formed and lived your life in. So for you specifically, as you get inspired, maybe like what are some things that, obviously beyond just seeing the outward thing, but like what are you filtering in your mind and in your heart that inspires you to create in your lane and do and be an artist that ultimately God's called you to be?
You know, I am inspired by every person that comes to me and says, hey, you've changed my life. I'm inspired by just someone just coming out to me like, hey, are you like this every day? Are you so light every day? Like embracing my light. You know what I'm saying? Like versus like, why are you so lit? Or why are you that round, right? So that kind of inspiration helps me create in my choreography realm, if you want to talk industry wise, right? When I create, then I think more so, why are these people attracted to me, right? Is it because I'm faking a funk, or is it because I'm just vibrating my highest of me, and they're like, dang, how did this fella get up there? Like, why is he so, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Anyway, that inspires me. So when I'm creating, I'm like, I gotta just be authentic. I gotta be genuine. I'm creating, it's feel before, it's what's the word? Expression before impressing anything. Expressing whatever I feel, it's gonna be right. Saying, I had to practice this, bro. You know, like I had to be like, say yes to the process, say yes to my choreo, say yes to saying yes to the flow, not going against the river race, you know, like just letting go. And then if it's just yes to movement for sure.
So on that note, I'm gonna pause you right there. So good. Being creative, for me, I wrote this down. Being creative means taking risk.
Yes.
And exploring opportunities.
Taking risk and exploring
opportunities. And I think that, I mean, what are some risks that you have decided to take and not ignoring your doubt or your fears? Because I think, for me, it's like this thing of like, oh, let's go take a risk.
I hear you.
But really, it's ignoring your doubts and your fears. How have you ignored your doubts and your fears? The greatest people in any society, or even leaders in our world, they take risk. The difference between somebody that's an entrepreneur, millionaire, or a preacher that is famous, or whatever, all these different things, this artist that's a singer, is because they were willing to take risk and they didn't let the fear cripple them. So for you specifically, what are some risks that you choose to take? Because you were just talking about like choreography and like, and like taking the risk on that, like, because some people would literally say, I think about Bob Fosse, like dancer, like I think about like all these weird I think about Megan Ellsberg, freaking genius, literally, like I'm not just saying that because I was on Junction, but freaking genius as far as like she just explores the weirdness of her creativity. Bob Fosse, like nobody would say you should dance turned in, but why? He explored dancing turned in, and it became something different and brilliant. So how do you take risk in breaking the mold of your creativity?
Dang, you got me chills, bro. Okay. It's like the Hulk. The Avengers. When he was like big and green, and he's just like stuck as the Green Hulk. And everyone's like, how are you doing that? How are you just Hulk and not angry and smashing things? He's talking, taking autographs and stuff. He embraced it. So I didn't necessarily ignore my doubts, my fears.
Right.
I like embraced them. Like I was like, hey, I'm actually afraid of this.
Yeah.
I actually am scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when I took that in, I was like, oh, I felt more a release more so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Versus like me intentionally being like you were saying, tight in energy.
Right.
Go.
Right.
Anyway, embracing.
Yes.
Embracing those things to me.
Yeah.
And being okay with it.
Yep.
With the process, with that whole, because it's a part of me versus ripping myself into little fragments of pieces and being like, I only want to keep this part, or I only want to keep this part, I want to keep this, and versus like, damn, that part actually, that actually made me though. That fragment that I try to rip apart myself actually made me. So that's a risk that I took. That's a risk of embracing those fears, those things. A risk is like, because I guess you don't want to count it as a negative risk, right? But anyway, it's like putting people in, the next guy is better than me syndrome, or throwing someone on that godly throne so high that you put yourself in this position of a low state, right? Anyway, taking a risk of actually believing myself.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Being like, I'm actually on that throne.
Right.
I actually do have a crown, or I actually can obtain that, or actually, versus saying, nope, I can't do that. Or anyway, that's a huge risk for me.
Yeah.
Believing in myself. I didn't think I could believe in myself, dude.
Yeah.
For sure. I walk around like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people are like, do you actually believe in yourself? I'm like, whoa.
Let's talk about this for a moment. What is the difference between passion and calling?
Ooh. What are you doing, bro?
This is not on the sheet.
Bro? What you doing?
But for me, it's like
awesome.
This thing.
That's amazing.
I honestly feel like your passion will lead you to your calling. And I think what you're passionate about, God will ultimately call you to. So for me, we're talking about Brotherhood podcasts. So this is for men that really don't know what they're even passionate about. And I would say you're passionate about choreography. You're passionate about creating. You're passionate about these different things. And so it's met you into a calling that actually inspires others and motivates others to do what they have been called to do. So for you, passion. Obviously, dance is part of that. But what are some other passions that you feel like maybe that you haven't even explored? Because I know that we've talked about some things where it's like I'd say that you are the motivational speaker that doesn't have a mic.
For sure.
That needs a mic.
For sure.
Like literally, the inspiration and the things that you can motivate people to aspire to be should literally be not only in the dance room. I believe. I know. I've been telling you this for a long time. Since I met you. But it's like there's a passion that is in you. You have a gift to actually speak one-on-one to people and to make them feel love and to make them feel like, wow, you can do this. Your Boom crew, I've seen it. I've seen it where you're teaching this girl that is messing up on the steps like crazy. Yeah. You're like, go for it. Boom, boom, boom. It's like this thing. I'm like, I would never be able to tell you. I'm like, girl, you just need to sit down. You shouldn't be on no boom crew. Go home to your boom boom mama. Okay, go chill with your mom. But you have this inspiration about you and this passion about you that has ultimately led you to your calling. So let's talk about passion, and let's talk about your calling.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So in reality, someone had told me that they felt like they visually put this in my head that I was one of the beams around the whole planet. I was a beam of I was a titan.
Wow.
Someone told me, hey, you control this side of the world that you're staying in. You are a huge beam. Anchor.
Yeah.
You do this thing. You pull this thing out of people.
Yep.
So crazy, right? And I feel it, bro. I feel when I'm talking to somebody that starts to speak about something they love, I literally physically start feeling like, I'm like, go, keep going.
Wow.
I'm like, keep going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I get hungry.
You're feeding them.
I feed them. I'm like,
you're hungry
because as a titan,
yeah,
as a beam that person put in my heart, I was like, it's my calling. It's my calling to make all these other people become titans as well, to reach their power through the platform of dance, maybe, or out of dance, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like really that's my calling. I really do feel like that. But then
I believe it.
Passionately too, bro. I know you see me out the dance room, but passionately, I feel like I love seminar talking. I love to teach, life teach, right?
Yes.
But in my dojo realm, right? I can't, so for some odd reason, put me in front of a mic by myself in front of a pulpit. No way, G. But inside the dojo with like movers, dancers, like, but I can speak to them like humans and not dancers. So that's where I speak the most, bro. Like in a artistic round, you would say, in a dome of people who want to push themselves almost. So my passion is in speaking and pushing, but then my calling as well is like to tighten pull. Right? Sorry, not to pull your mic. Tighten pull. He's like, you pull your mic.
Oh my goodness, so good.
Anyway,
yeah, no, that's good.
That was a cool curveball, bro. Thank you for
absolutely.
That.
And then too, let's just go a little bit deeper, and then we're gonna end in just a few moments. But how do you, for people listening, I think that especially for guys, we get trapped into not answering the call of our calling.
Yeah.
So it's this thing. Obviously, passion leads to your calling, but how do you actually answer the call? I literally think about it. It's like my phone rings. Like. And God puts things out in the universe. Like God he literally, I've seen it in my life. He's paving the way right even now, currently. It's like where he's putting things in my hand, but I have to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I literally have to say, okay, God, I'm going to answer this call. I'm going to do what you have told me to do in my mind and my heart. So for you specifically, what are some things that you have felt like, man, like, or maybe some calls that you've been click? Like the things that you talk about, embracing the fear, right? Everybody has something that they're fearful of. Like for you, like getting on a stage, like we talked about it. You're like, bro, I don't know how you preach every single week and do all that stuff and talk and do all that. But for me, it was embracing my fear. What people don't know is that I don't love public speaking. Wow. I don't love it. It's not this thing where it's like, oh, I just thrive off of public speaking. It's not. It's me embracing my fear and answering a call. That's all it is. And that's literally what I've been doing. This podcast, it's me answering the call. You know what I'm saying? So what are some things that maybe you have rejected the call, or maybe you've answered the call?
Okay. You shot me back like 14 years ago, bro. I'm like, I went in like Twilight Zone, Doctor Strange for sure. Open my third eye. Okay. Anyway,
oh my gosh.
I was working in LA, in Koreatown, with these amazing Korean kids. This teacher, this master teacher there, ballet teacher, who doesn't know anything really about the hip hop culture or anything like that, but she brought me in first time in LA. She's like, oh, I seen a video of him here and there. But anyway, I grew to these kids, but at the same time I was working, booking jobs,
right?
Dancing.
Yep.
Now my boss lady, that's what I call her.
Yeah,
and she's
yeah.
like, teacher, teacher. And I'm like, boss lady.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
She's the cutest. They don't speak English, but their eyes beamed every time I walked in.
Yeah.
My heart beamed every time they learned something and left. Anyway, we're putting a recital together.
Mm-hmm.
I put the recital together. I'm now doing a ballet partner, bro. You can catch around on this video. Anyway, I'm doing a partner dance with the boss lady, rehearsing, right? This is her moment. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm dancing with whatever.
Yeah.
A professional person. I'm in front, and she was huge in the community. Right?
Wow.
Anyway, I go into the community. I see newspapers of my face on it.
Wow.
In Koreatown. They're like, I'm going to like little markets. They're like, is this you? This is you. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Yeah.
And they're like, and I'm like, I can't understand. They're like, oh, you have a performance. You've done so well. You helped this school grow.
Wow.
you know, wow. This calling.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
But then I was still working industry-wise, Andrew, for sure. Mm-hmm. So my heart was like, I wanted to be big.
Yes.
I wanted to be in the
travel
movie,
and go all the things. Yes.
So,
wow.
Recitals happening on this day. My agent calls me and says, J-Lo wants to direct book you for a show that she's doing. I don't even know if it's a concert. It was like or a tour. I knew that it was for sure music video and maybe a couple of shows after.
Wow.
For J-Lo.
Wow. Big.
Agent told me the date. It's the same day as
the recital.
The recital.
Oh my goodness.
Do I pick up the call or do I
decline?
Decline, right? The calling was heavy, bro.
Wow.
Why am I where I am now?
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm at now as a motivator, inspire. I don't want to even say teacher.
Yeah.
Someone who's just sharing
just
my
people.
guidance,
Yep.
my story, and right
artistry. Mm-hmm.
Is because of that moment, bro. I declined J-Lo.
Wow.
I said no. My agents were like,
"You're an idiot."
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
They said, "What are you doing, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
This is J-Lo. Those kids they're fine. Oh my gosh. I can see all those kids. They remember me till now.
Wow.
They remember me. Those people. J-Lo in my head, I was like, I could do this job. I could really book it big. Maybe this could change my life. But then that didn't feel like a heavy calling to me.
Wow. It just felt like a job.
It felt like a job that she might forget me or remember me. But these kids I'd spent time with, bro.
Pouring into.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So anyway.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. So
Picking
not
up
only
the phone for this calling,
right,
but declining as well, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that calling to me it fits in the line of inspiration.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you were, and that's the thing that I want like really people to hear is that you answered the call of inspiration rather than the glimpse of just a simple motivated moment.
I wouldn't be where I am now, Andrew. Like even the talking and experience the way I am. I wouldn't even be doing that.
Yeah.
To be even like, yo, that call could have propelled me on tours.
Yeah.
Right? Who knows?
Yeah.
But the calling that I felt in my heart.
Yes.
Even talking about it.
You're like,
I'm like,
I still want to go see those kids.
I just told kids. You know what I'm saying?
That's so
I'm
good.
like, yo.
That's so good. So good, man.
And so I did. I put my tights on, bro.
Yeah.
And did that show. And did that recital.
Wow.
And, did I still have an agent at that time? Still after? Yes, bro. The show still went on.
Yeah.
Right.
You still did things. Yeah.
I still did things.
Yeah.
So it's like.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So before we leave and kind of go on, I want to talk about this thing because we're both Christians. We believe in Jesus and all these different realities, and we believe the impact that to follow Jesus has on our lives. And I do believe that being a Christian, that gives you a glimpse of inspiration and hope.
Absolutely.
And it's this thing that gives you life, right? And so I want to talk about this scripture because as I was preparing for this podcast, the scripture out of Proverbs, it says, as a man thinks, so is he. As a man thinks, so is he. And what I really want to get across in this Brotherhood podcast to all my brothers out there
let's go.
is that you form the way that you live by what you think.
Let's go. Yeah.
And so oftentimes I think that a lot of men, we think all these negative thoughts we wonder why am I not married? Or we wonder, why is my relationship not this good? Or we wonder, why am I not being so successful in my career or doing all these different things? And I really, truly believe that out of Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinks, so is he. So what you put your mind to is what you gravitate towards.
I love that.
And so for you, even in this inspiration of breaking the mold of creativity and being inspired and being motivated and the difference between passion and your calling, all these different things come into play, but they all have one central thing. It's because you thought it, and it has come to be, whether negative or positive. So before we end, I just want you to speak to the guys that may be listening, and maybe women are listening too, but this is really intended for men and young adults, men in high school and teenagers and all forms, older men. Like, I really want you to speak to them before we dismiss about, man, the power of your thoughts, the power of your words, what you can manifest by your thoughts. I know we've had many conversations about.
That's another podcast, bro.
It is. So maybe we'll do a part 2 about manifestation.
You have to do another one, bro. You can't do another one because that's loaded as well, bro.
Yes, it is. It is. But we'll talk about, like, just really speak from your heart about really what, like, almost as if you were in the dance room and a kid came to you and was just struggling and just saying, I'm thinking negative thoughts. This relationship is not working. I suck at dance. Blah, 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 blah. Like, what would you say to them in that moment to reorient the way that they think in their minds and in their hearts?
You know, the first thing that that comes to mind is, like, in my head, I don't know if in this universe, this dimension that, that's another podcast as well.
Yes, absolutely.
About other dimensions of people. Anyway,
yes.
In this dimension that I know of on Earth right now, I'm the only Jeffrey Boom Louizia.
That's right.
In the whole entire.
That's right.
Earth.
Yes.
That I'm living on.
Yep.
There's no other me. So if I'm talking to this kid, there's no other you.
Right.
There's no other Cindy, Mike, John, Timmy. There's just not another you. There's other people that might look like you.
Right.
That might have a cool little cut or the style, but they're not you. Yeah. They're just not you. So even twins who look identical to each other, they still ain't the same. They still own themselves. They still act, move, vibrate differently.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even in that notion, there's not a duplicate of you.
So good.
You are you for sure. So that being said, you matter. You are worth it.
Come on.
Unapologetically be yourself.
That's so good.
Delete the practice.
Yeah.
Deleting the judgment out of your system and know that you are it. For
That's
sure.
So good. That's so good.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, listen, I just want to thank you once again. I will have Jeffrey
listen,
multiple times.
You have to. Listen, you have to, because you already opened a can of worms with a whole bunch of other stuff. You have to, bro.
We did. But seriously, I just want to say thank you. It means the world to me that you would take this time to just give a little glimpse of who you are and to give a little glimpse of, like, who we are in our friendship and in our brotherhood. That is always growing. We're always learning from each other. We're always striving to be better men because of each other. And so I just want to say thank you, just for being here.
Bro.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.
And so listen, if you're watching, make sure you like, you subscribe, you do all the things, hit the bell, notifications, and we will see you right back here for another episode of the Brotherhood Podcast.